All right. Good afternoon or morning to everyone, depending on where you are, and welcome to the talk show of the Statistics and Data Science Masters here at Leiden University. I'm Garnet, and I'm the host of today's webinar because I'm also the study advisor of this program. Several people have joined me today, as you can see. In this session, we have Saskia, who is our program director, first-year student Zoya, and a second-year student Meg. Before we start, I'll just briefly go over the structure of today's session. First, our program director, Saskia, will introduce herself. Then Zoe and Meng will tell you about themselves. Afterwards, I'll have a conversation with everyone here about the program and what it is to study in Leiden. Finally, we'll end with a Q&A session where you can submit your questions. Note that you can send any questions you have while we're speaking. You can send them in via the chat. Afterwards, we'll answer as many questions as we can via the Q&A. Please note, if you haven't watched it yet, we do have a video presentation of our master where Saskia gives a more information about the structure of the program. You can find it online via our master's website. All right, so let's start. Saskia, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, yeah, thank you, Garnet. My name is Saskia Lassisi. I'm a professor of medical statistics working in Leiden University Medical Center, and I'm also the program director of this master. And but here in a nutshell, you can see our master is open to students with a variety of backgrounds. So more both people with an applied bachelor, but also people with a more quantitative bachelor. And what it does in the 2 years that you are following the master is that it provides you a solid methodological basics in both statistics and data science. And you can see some pictures of what kind of data we are using in our master. We focus in this master on applications in the life of the behavioral sciences. Okay, this is a master which is embedded in the University of Leiden, but also the Leiden University Medical Center, where I'm working, is part of this master, and also Wageningen University is also part of this master. So this is not a master only in the Faculty of Science, but it's a joint collaboration of statisticians and data science of many different organizations. We also even have teachers from ABOS, which is the European Master of Official Statistics. And we do have people from Statistics Netherlands and the Amsterdam University Medical Center. So if you are following this master, you'll get instructors for a variety of different areas and who are experts on many different topics. We are a very diverse master. For one reason is that we have students with a variety of different backgrounds, students from psychology, biology, medicine, but also for the more quantitative bachelor statistics, econometrics, and mathematics. And we are also a very international master, and that makes it so nice. So we are very diverse, but we are united in the sense that we all love statistics and data science. This is, in a nutshell, the program. You can see that it takes, in total, 2 years, divided in 4 different semesters. And in the first semester, there are the core courses. Then in the second and third semester, there's a combination of mandatory courses, but also elective courses. And then in the last semester, there is the thesis project. So the blue parts are the mandatory courses, and the yellow parts are more the elective courses. So later on in the program, you can choose more elective courses. This is the first semester, which is a list of core courses. We will give you a solid basis in statistics and probability. Depending on your background, you are following a basic course in mathematics, or you are following a basic course in how to conduct empirical research. We have a course in statistical computing with R, which R is one of the programming languages we use a lot in this master. We have linear algebra, which is also some mathematics, generalized linear models, and then there's also a course of where you can look how all those different methods are being applied in practice. So that's more a skill-oriented course and also a job orientation course, statistics and data science in practice. In the second and third year semester, you can already build your own program. There are still some core courses, more in the second semester of the first year and somewhat less in the first semester of the second year. And then, but you can already think based on what your background is and also what you are planning for your future. You can choose a kind of learning line. It's not mandatory, but it's these are coherent courses which you can follow over your curriculum. So if you like medical statistics, like my field, then in the second semester you follow the elective survival analysis. Third semester you follow data analysis, statistical genetics, and somewhat more 9 EC of extra electives. You can also be more interested in biology or agricultural statistics. Then you're following in the second semester the course design and analysis of biological experiments. And in the third semester, also the high dimensional data analysis and statistical genetics class. You can also be interested in official statistics. That's a type of statistics used in governmental organizations. And we have a special EMOS track and European Master of Official Statistics. Then you're following in the second semester survey methodology, and in the third semester, the EMOS core module plus extra courses. You could be really interested in hardcore data science, then you are following data visualization and advances in data mining and introduction to deep learning. And you could also be more interested in psychology and sociology, psychometrics, sociometrics, and then you're following in the second semester survey methodology, and in the third semester exploratory data analysis and psychometrics and SEM, structural equation modeling. I want to emphasize that in the second year, we have a course which is called a mandatory course, which is called statistical consulting. And that prepares you on being a consultant, a statistical or data science consulting. And you are working here on real projects with actual people, researchers, and also some companies who have questions. And then you can start working in pairs, finding out what their question is, then working on it. And then the next challenge is that you also explain what you did with the implications to that researcher of an applied field. So this is really working, starting to prepare on the job market. In the fourth semester, that's all completely devoted on the thesis project. And we have different options there. You could, if you want to proceed your career in academics, maybe you want to become a PhD student, then you could choose to perform an academic thesis on a methodological topic. But if you are thinking not wanting to continue in academics, you could also try work on an applied project with or without university. And then you are conducting a non-standard data analysis and or maybe comparing different ways to analyze data. And you can do that, yeah. So that's the more applied. You can do that at university, but also many of our students do that outside of university, in industry, in the bioscience park, Statistics Netherlands, etc. Well, maybe you're becoming enthusiastic and you are wondering, is this the right program for me? Well, you are a good candidate if you like statistics, but also like math, because the background of statistic and data science methods, there's a lot of mathematics involved. But it's not only theoretical, you also should like to work with computers, you should like to work with data, and like programming. Our master is focusing on applications in life and behavioral sciences, so it's good if you are also interested in applications, and then even more good if you are interested in those particular lines of applications. Being a statistician or being a data scientist means that you often have to work in interdisciplinary teams. It's not a job which you can do completely on your own. So you should also like to work with others together. Teamwork is also important. And because of all the teamwork, because of all our lectures are in English, but also you have to give presentations in English, you need to have a good knowledge of English, both written and spoken. Then I can tell you what we are not. We are not a master in financial analytics. There are other masters around in the Netherlands which are more focused to that specific area. And we will not train you to become a business intelligence person or an engineer or working in business analytics. We are also not a computer science. In fact, the computer science department in Leiden University has a master in computer science where you could also follow a track on data science. And we are not a mathematics program. We are really also looking at how we can apply statistics and data science to real world problems. If you are now becoming really enthusiastic and want to apply for our program, we want to say if you have the opportunity, then start in September, because I showed you the whole semesters, and the program is really building of starting in January, in September, then have the first semester, the second, the third, and the fourth semester. So do not start in February, because that is far more difficult than to have to follow a coherent program. And starting in February may lead to study delay. Most of the core courses are in September to January. Well, then a bit about the future. What will you learn in these 2 years? Well, after you have finished this master, you have a thorough understanding of statistics and data science. So you are not only able to apply it, but you also understand what's happening, the background of all the programs you are then using as a statistician or a data scientist. You are able to apply a lot of methods to real-world data. You will have extensive data analytic skills. You are able to invent new methods or to apply new methods and techniques to data. And you are able to work in many different fields. And the job market, there are good job opportunities for people who are following this master. If you have any more questions, well, then I would say ask them now to us. Or if you want to ask questions later, you can talk to people of our staff, to students or alumni, and you can see here the general email address for our master. So this is our master in a nutshell, and I hope you are now becoming more and more enthusiastic. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Saskia, for the recap of our program. If you're joining us a bit late and you didn't hear it before, if you have any questions at any moment, you can always put them into the chat and we will answer them in the Q&A at the end. Before we move on to our interview with the people here, perhaps it's good to have them introduce themselves. So we also have a first-year student here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. So hi, my name is Zoya. I'm from Slovenia and I'm a first-year student. I actually already did my bachelor in the Netherlands. It was at the University College, so it was a liberal arts and sciences bachelor, but my major was in global public health.
Thank you, Zoya. And also we have a second-year student. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Meng, and I'm from China, and I'm the second-year student. My previous study is economic and management.
Thank you very much. So let's start with the interview now. Saskia, why would students want to study here at Leiden University, and what makes our program so special?
Well, I think our program is special both because we are a very diverse international master with people from a lot of different backgrounds. Also, the teachers have a lot of different backgrounds. So it is more than following just a master in one particular faculty. In the university, you get courses of teachers from a variety of different faculties from different fields. So you really get exposed to a wide range of statistics and data science methods and applications.
Thank you. So, Zoya, you did your bachelor program at the Leiden University College. What is it that you like about Leiden or the region around here?
Yes, so I actually live in The Hague, which is really close to Leiden. It's like a 10-minute train ride, and it's actually a very lovely commute through the fields every morning. I really like this area because like the Netherlands is really safe. It's a very well-organized country. The public transport is very good. There's also a beach very nearby, and there's a lot of nature. So it's a very nice city to live in.
Thank you. And what drew you specifically to this master program?
So I wanted to do something more methodological after my bachelor, but I really wanted to keep the focus that I had on like bio and also medical side. And this program was done in collaboration with LUMC, and it also offers two really nice tracks that I got really interested in.
So as you might have noticed, our students come from many different backgrounds. Saskia, how does that work in practice with so many students from different disciplinary backgrounds?
Well, it's a challenge, but what we are trying, and specifically in the first semester, is getting people on the same level, on the same track. And since last year, we have those courses the course on mathematics and the course on empirical research, which helps people to cover their deficits. So that's what we are doing to get people more on the track. And we also have in the first semester groups. People are working together, collaborate together in interdisciplinary groups so that they also get to know each other and getting the viewpoint of people with different backgrounds. So I think that's how we are trying to cover for the different backgrounds. It's a challenge, but it's also an opportunity. People are not in their own narrow fields, but they get to know people from a lot of different backgrounds, and you get a wider view then.
Right, and perhaps it's nice also to hear from a student. So, Meg, this is your second year now. How's it been to study here and collaborate with people from different backgrounds?
Yeah, because it's very normal in this program to work with students from different backgrounds. So I remember last year there is a course called statistic learning, and we choose a psychological task. And yes, we have a teammate from a psychological background help us to summarize the task and set up the guideline and also share a lot of materials and knowledge to us. So I think, as Saskia said, it's challenging, but it's also an opportunity to learn some knowledge from out of my program before. So I think this was a very good experience to me and make me better in teamwork.
Great, that's great to hear. Zoya, you just started this year. Could you describe your typical week? Do you have many classes, for example? What are the lectures like?
Okay, so currently I'm following 3 courses that Saskia already introduced. So I have lectures more or less every day from 2 to 6 hours a day. And they're usually like first 2-hour lecture where the lecturer or professor teaches the concepts and the theory. And then after that, it follows a 2-hour tutorial where the teaching assistants are there to help you like work through the exercises that then kind of help you also understand the concepts taught before in practice.
Great, thank you. And then could you also comment on that? Do other classes in, for example, the second semester also very similar in format to the first semester?
Yes. We regularly have lecture first and then the tutorial. And in the tutorial, there's 1 or 2 teaching assistant. We can ask questions.
Great, thank you. Saskia, you mentioned it in your recap, but there's a course called Statistical Consulting. Could you tell us more about that?
Well, I think I already told you about the recap, but it's one of our key assets. This is going beyond just following lectures and then working on problems. This is a course where other people bring in the problem. So And then you are already working more or less as a consultant, trying to figure out what are the questions, working on the problems, and then explaining it to the client. We call it the client. You get also in that course a lot of skills, education about how to communicate, how to find out what the problems are, how you approach people, and so that's also a part of it. So we really set you up for what a lot of people are going to do afterwards, working as a data scientist or a statistician.
Okay, that sounds interesting. Meng, I suppose you're currently taking this course.
Yes.
Can you describe your project in it, how it's been going?
Yeah, so I think this course is very interesting and useful because it's designed to simulate the real work life as a statistician or data scientist. And we have several client meetings, and we have to identify the goals of clients and choose the appropriate method and techniques and try to answer their research questions. So I think it's not only use statistics and data science. It's also about learning how to talk effectively with clients and act professionally in work life. And we just finished our first client meeting, and our research question is about the social anxiety, so which is very popular and very practical.
Great, wow. So you just spent last month on the topic of courses. Are there any courses that you're currently taking that are particularly challenging or interesting?
I think the main course of the first block is called Statistics and Probability. And it's a very interesting course, especially because while I've already taken some introduction to statistics courses in my bachelor, this one really also teaches you the fundamentals to kind of understand from the probability theory how the statistics work. But it can also be quite challenging because it also incorporates a lot of R language, which if you're not that familiar with, can be a bit overwhelming when it's used in the lectures as much. But we also have 3 different professors, each teaching on the topics that they have the most expertise in, which really helps to cover and understand all the topics.
Thank you. So we focused on courses so far, especially from the first year of the third semester. Saskia, could you share a bit more about the thesis project? Can students, for example, do an internship?
Yeah, we have. It's not a separate internship and a thesis. It's one project. We call it the thesis project. But there are opportunities to do it outside of university. So you could do it in a company. Then you need to have a supervisor, which is a statistician or a data scientist. There's also a teacher involved of our own master to guide the quality level. But in that way, you're already working in externally in a company and feeling if you like it and how you like it. So there's one project, but you can already, based on what you want to do after your master, you can already choose the direction.
Nice, yeah. So doing things after the master, of course. Zoya, do you know what you hope to do after the master and what your goals were when you chose the program?
So I actually always thought that I would like to continue in academia and become a researcher. But one of the reasons why I chose to do this master is because while it enables you to do just that, it also opens door if you want to go into the industry and work there afterwards. So I'm just kind of looking forward to the next year when I get to do the project and see if I actually like that better.
Thank you. Meng, perhaps the same question for you. Do you know what you hope to do after you graduate?
Maybe I will just go to the company and do as a data science or data analyst.
Sure, thank you. I'm also curious, have you faced any particular challenges during your studies here? Were there certain courses or topics, for example, that you found particularly challenging?
So in general, my biggest challenge is the presentation actually, because I am not an English native speaker, so I'm always nervous and unconfident about speaking in public. And maybe you can You can imagine that I am also very nervous today. Yeah, but in this university, we have a lot of opportunities to practice in the course. So I think I feel much better than before.
Thank you. So would you say that giving presentations is a big part of the program as well?
Yeah, I think most of course we have presentation in group work. So I think because I want to do the data analyst in the future, but presentation is very important for my future career life. So I am willing to practice and do it.
Thank you. Indeed, so depending on the electives you take, of course, it may be more or less presentation. On the topic of electives, Saskia, is it possible to take electives from other departments if you want to specialize in a given direction?
Yes, you can. There are quite some students who take electives from the computer science department more than our pre-allowed electives. But there are also students who take electives from other universities. That is allowed. Actually, 12 EC of the program can be the electives can come from different universities or different faculties or different institutes. So yeah, there is also the opportunity to follow courses outside of our regular program.
Yes, I should note as well, you can also take an exchange semester here as well. We have more information about that if desired. Perhaps a few last questions. Zoya, what tips would you give to prospective students who are looking to apply to this program?
I think it's to really look through the course list that's offered like in prospectus for Leiden University and see if that's what interests you, because this is what you will actually be spending all of your time on.
Yes, that's very fair. And then perhaps one last question for you. How does it feel to be an international student here in Leiden?
Actually, I enjoy living in Leiden because everyone here can speak English very well. So it makes me my daily life very easy and smooth. And Leiden is a small but very quiet city, and I would say it's very student friendly because there are many libraries located in different places in the city, and you can easily find a study space near to the studio. And last year, I remember the university also provide us some activities for international students who cannot go back to home during Christmas holiday. So I feel very comfortable and included in this university and in Leiden.
It's great to hear. Well, thank you all for answering the question. I hope this helps our audience in particular getting a picture of the program. Now it's time to answer your questions. The moderator will show some of your questions to us now. Yes, I see our first question is about housing. Meng, could you comment on how it is to find housing here in Leiden?
Well, I was pretty lucky because I got a studio from Duo, which is like a university provided studio. And this year I got one in student experience just in face of the faculty. So I would say I'm very lucky.
Thank you. Our second question is about how many days a week do you have to be at the campus, and perhaps how many days do you have to don't you have to travel to the campus? Zoe, how's it been so far with mandatory attendance?
So far, actually, none of the courses actually have the mandatory attendance. It is highly encouraged, especially in the first semester. But yeah, if you don't want to, you can also follow them from home. Some of the lecturers also record the sessions, so and all the PowerPoints that are used or materials are also always posted. So if you don't want to, you can also follow it from home.
Yes, and then has that been your experience as well with the second semester or third semester courses? Has there been mandatory attendance? Has there been mandatory attendance for your courses? Did you have to go to a particular lecture?
Yeah, as Zoya said, we can watch the record at home, but some professors they don't record during the lecture. So I think I advise the students to come in person.
Yes, indeed. So some of our courses do indeed have some mandatory attendance, for example, consulting, where you meet with a client. But yes, it depends a lot on the given semester and the given course you're taking. Could you combine this with a second master? Saskia, could you comment on that?
I think our program is demanding, so But there are students who are combining it with a second master. I know there are some students from the who are studying medicine and then following also our master. There are some students from mathematics who are following our master. So it is possible, but it's challenging.
Thank you. I see we have a question from Senna. If you don't have a lot of prior knowledge in mathematics, can you still succeed in this program? Perhaps one of our students could answer that. Zoe, would you like to start?
I think at least the mathematics that we had so far, there's also one course that's taught in the first semester, which is mathematics for statisticians, which does teach you a lot of the stuff that you need to be able to follow it. But I think at least in the statistics course so far, the mathematics has it's always been like worked out. There's some calculus, and you do need to know how to use like logarithms and how to know the notations that are used when they explain. So like the sum notation and stuff like that to be able to follow. But I know that there are also some students in the master who do not have a very like strong math background, come maybe from like psychology bachelors and all of that, so they didn't really have a math course since high school, and they're still following it.
Indeed, thank you. So one of our requirements, of course, is having seen some amount of calculus at some point, and that can also be during your high school, for example. From Laura, I see another question. Starting in February delays the study. If pre-master's needed, will the study time be 3 years then? Sophia, could you comment on that?
Yeah, you don't need a pre-master. So if you are fulfilling the admission criteria, then you can follow this master. But if you start in February, you do not have that nice basic courses followed yet in the first semester. You have to follow them later. So if you're starting in February, then you will start with having a meeting with Garnet, and we will have to look at what you did in your bachelor, and then making a special program for you. So if you have a master of a bachelor done already with a lot of statistics, then it's easier. And if you have a bachelor done in a completely different field, but it could also be for some people they are starting following some electives then in February, and then starts the rest of the program in September. So I would say it will delay it a little bit, say a couple of months, maximum half a year, because then after half a year it's September, and then you can follow exactly the courses of how they are planned.
So officially, we don't have a pre-master program, unfortunately. As Saskia said, you can always delay your study to some extent to help with the study load as well. I see another question from Tamara. What kinds of jobs graduates find in industry? Saskia, could you?
Oh, I just looked that up a couple of days ago, so I am up to date with it. There are about 20% of our students continue to follow a PhD. About 30% of students who are becoming what is called a data scientist, or about 10% where they call themselves data analysts, or 20% of our students are calling themselves statisticians or biostatisticians or other type of statisticians. And then there were also people involved in other fields of data engineer, of data, ICT jobs. There was one person who was the head of a company, etc. But so I think most of the people who continue either as a PhD student or as a data scientist or as a statistician.
Thank you. And perhaps to comment more on that, Saskia, can you tell me more about the job chances in a particular field, any particular area?
Yeah, it used to be very, very good a couple of years ago. It's now not as good as it was a couple of years ago, especially when you are starting. Finding the first job, I think it's the most challenging. If you have your first job, then it's easier to continue because, yeah, the economy is not as good as it was a couple of years ago. So companies are more reluctant to hire people, and they ask often for experience. And that's also why we have that opportunity to do your thesis project already in a company, because you have already that experience. And that's also why we have that course in statistical consulting, because there you you already have some consulting experience. But it's finding the first job which is the most challenging. If you are beyond the first job, then and you're doing well, then it's fine.
Perhaps on that topic, Meng, you're doing your thesis next semester, presumably. Do you hope to do that with a company?
Yeah, I'm willing to do the project in a company because I like to do some really applied skills, and also academic is a little bit difficult to me.
Okay. And have you heard from perhaps your fellow students if they've had success in finding jobs afterward?
Because I don't know a lot of students here, but I heard there are some students doing an internship, such as data science, and also like supply chain analyst, marketing analyst.
Okay. And you also feel that, for example, the courses you've taken so far have prepared you pretty well to get a job in industry if you want to do that?
I am preparing some internship right now, and then also I did some interview with companies.
Great, thank you. A question from Sebastian. Should we be concerned that the rise of AI will cause data analysis skills to become, in some sense, obsolete, now that there might be AI programs who can analyze data? Saskia, you mentioned looking into the data before.
Yeah. Well, this is something we are also wondering, but as far as I see it now, the simple programming jobs, they will be less because that can be taken over by AI. But that difficult part of understanding what exactly are the questions being answered by clients, and that connecting to the right tools you are using for to analyze the data, that will remain. So I would say AI is probably more a friend of us, which well, where we do not have to look endlessly in finding the certain things. So yeah, he is more a friend than a foe of us because, well, really understanding and using your brain and doing original work, I think that remains.
Indeed. Zoe, perhaps on that topic, do you find that AI use is encouraged or discouraged in the program?
So far, like it really like in the statistics course where there's also some use of R. So there are a lot of students, especially if they don't really have a lot of background in how to use R, do use AI to help them, and it has not been discouraged at all because, like Saskia also already mentioned, the courses are designed to teach you to actually really understand and not only like how to code it, but why you're using like a certain code and why you would use like a simulation compared to something else. And that, yeah, is something that actually AI just helps you produce the code if you don't know it, but you're still the one who needs to understand what exactly you need to do to get there.
And then could you also comment on the use of AI in courses first in the second year?
Yes, because I don't have any background of programming last year, so I started with zero. So I used AI to help me to correct the coding, and also I will use AI help me to develop my like such as a written report because like English level is my like short.
Sure. A question from Sylvia, I see. Is it possible to get into medical statistics with a bachelor in economics? Saskia, could you comment on that? This is your specialization.
I had a master in mathematics and I became a medical statistician. So there are people who are having a bachelor in economics who became medical statisticians, and also there's a whole field within medicine which is more linked also to economics. Health technology assessment and things like that. So definitely it depends on what you want. And as a medical statistician or as a statistician everywhere, yeah, you don't have that background knowledge which people have who are in the applied field, but you have the unique skills to help to connect to people and then and translate their questions into more statistical or data science questions.
Right. And then you also mentioned not having any program experience beforehand. Do you feel that after you take up these courses that you can easily switch directions from your bachelor?
Yes.
Okay. And Zoe, I guess you also did a liberal arts bachelor's. You also feel that you're hoping to kind of change direction somewhat in afterwards?
I think I want to not completely change direction because also during my bachelor I focused on like health sciences and I would like to stay in that region, but I did want to get a lot more like methodological and hands-on experience.
Thank you. A question from Diana. The program has many applications to the life sciences, of course. If you're more interested in using science applications in, for example, astronomy or physics, are there many opportunities within this program to do it in that area? Saskia, could you comment?
Yeah, I think so. I think there are some people who did some a project here somewhere on the bioscience park on I don't know how the company is called, but they're making big rockets to go to the moon and things like that. Satellites, I think. So that's it. We also have in the Mathematical Institute a statistics professor who is also working in the field of astronomy. So that could be a direct link. Why I'm mentioning specifically that I said we are not we are focusing on life and behavioral sciences because in the past we also had students who thought they would become a business analytics person and focusing really only on economics, and that's what we are not doing. But yeah, there's a lot of things you can do for projects. It has to be some having some connections to our program, so there should be statistics or data science, and you should find a supervisor from our master program. But for specifically for astronomy, there is someone who can supervise you.
I should mention if that really is your specific interest, there is, of course, the astronomy master program with specialization in data science as well. A question from Sophia. For Dutch students, is this going to be a requirement if you fulfill all other requirements? Can you get around that? Sophia, could you comment on that as one last question?
Well, it is a requirement, but if you followed some classes of mathematics during your bachelor, then you're also fine. And if otherwise, I would say, well, now it's start to follow some class in mathematics somewhere in your university or on the bachelor level, then you are done also as well.
All right, unfortunately, our time is up. I would like to thank everyone here, Saskia, Zoya, and Meng, for joining me today for this live session. And thank you as well for joining this live session. We hope that you enjoyed this session and that it's been somewhat helpful for you and help you to choose your master program. If we haven't been able to answer your question, of course, you can email us via pr@stat.leidenuniv.nl or Unibuddy, which is accessible via our website. Furthermore, it's also possible to, for example, visit the university and experience a day in the life of a student. If you want that, then you should again email our PR email. You'll be accompanied by one of our students the entire day and be able to visit some classes. I wish you all a wonderful day and hope to see you soon at Leiden University. Goodbye.